episode 18, week 18 usage from the 27th of April to the 3rd of May. The setup's in the description below as usual. I'm moving straight onto the mileage. The car's now done 3,772 miles, which is 53 miles for the week and 1,911 since the start of the 2020 logs. The generation's now at 30,167 kilowatt hours, which is 104 for the week and 1,178 since the start of the 2020 logs. A little bit of excess energy is spilt into the Eddi this week at 0.22 kilowatt hours, and the import meter reading is now 7,884 kilowatt hours, which is only 66 kilowatt hours for the week and 5,293 kilowatt hours since the start of the 2020 logs. The weekly usage looks like this, and that's 160 kilowatt hours of home usage, 100 kilowatt hours of solar, 50.9 kilowatt hours from the powerwall, 64.9 kilowatt hours from the grid, and 1.3 going back into the grid. Moving on to the daily usage, Monday the 27th of April, 5.8 kilowatt hours drawn from the grid with 0.2 going back. That's 3.8 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall, 20.6 kilowatt hours generated from the solar, and 19.5 kilowatt hours of home usage. The 5 kilowatt hours drawn from the grid came from heating the hot water first thing in the morning. Now the battery hadn't discharged, but what I did, I guessed what the state of charge would be in the early hours of the morning when the Octopus Agile tariff was cheap at a cheap rate, and then set the minimum back up to that rate, so then the Powerwall completely stopped while I heated the hot water directly from the grid. And this is something that I tried to do all week, based on 7% being approximately 1 kilowatt hour. On Tuesday the 28th of April we had 10.7 kilowatt hour draw from the grid, with 0.1 going back. We got 7.9 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall. We only had a solar generation of 5.1 kilowatt hour and a home usage of 22.5 kilowatt hours. And as you can see from the pattern, I did exactly the same again. I heated the hot water up in the morning, guessing how much backup I'd needed to set the Powerwall at, so it didn't pull the energy to heat the water from the Powerwall. On Wednesday the 29th of April we had a grid pull of 20.3 kilowatt hours and 0.2 going back, and this is because of the poor solar yesterday, so I heavily pulled on Wednesday. We got 7.8 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall on Wednesday, with 12.2 kilowatt hours of solar, so a little bit better than yesterday but not great, and we had a home usage of 25.2 kilowatt hours. And what I didn't only heat the hot water in the cheap rate on the Octopus Agile tariff, but I also charged the battery for approximately 2 hours on the cheap rate as well. And this is because the battery fully discharged due to the poor solar on the previous 2 days. On Thursday the 30th of April we pulled 13.2 kilowatt hours from the grid with 0.2 going back. We had 4.9 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall and 12.1 kilowatt hours generated from the solar, and a home usage of 24.6 kilowatt hours. And that was due to the heating of the hot water, but also charging of the car. And as you can see, that's coming in and out on the blue lines early in the morning. That's because I was taking advantage of the cheaper rate on the Octopus Agile tariff using the ohme smart charger, which basically keeps the charge. It only charges when the rate's below a certain point. On Friday the 1st of May we had a grid pull of 8 kilowatt hours with 0.2 going back. We pulled 5.9 kilowatt hours from the grid. We had a solar generation of 14.1 kilowatt hours and 21.7 kilowatt hours of home usage. And as you can see from this, I got the estimation wrong of how much would be left in the battery, so there was a little bit of pull from the battery to heat the hot water, followed by the grid. On Saturday the 2nd of May, we pulled 5.3 kilowatt hours from the grid with 0.2 going back. We got 7.7 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall. We had a generation of 20.3 kilowatt hours and a home usage of 25.1 kilowatt hours. And the 5.3 kilowatt hours that I pulled from the grid again was just to heat the hot water first thing in the morning. And finally, Sunday the 3rd of May, we pulled 1.6 kilowatt hours from the grid with 0.1 going back. We got 13 kilowatt hours out of the Powerwall. We had a generation of 16.4 kilowatt hours and a complete home usage of 21.6 kilowatt hours. And rather than allowing the Powerwall to stop discharging early in the morning, I actually used the Powerwall to heat the hot water until empty, because I knew it was going to be a good solar day on Sunday. And finally, the gas, we pulled 11.76 kilowatt hours of gas, and that was a cost of £1.61 for the week, including the daily charge and VAT, and that's a total cost now of £24.28 for the gas since the start of the 2020 logs in January. As usual, thanks for watching and taking an interest in the videos, and please like and subscribe. And if you've got any questions, please put it in the comments section below.